KixPicks. I'm back on the second episode of this series on how to make your pick at home, how to make a custom pick. In the last video, we covered a lot of things, talking generally about the kinds of picks, the difference between the commercial and a custom pick, and what's the difference between the commercial picks, the different types of commercial picks, and what the difference between the custom picks and techniques and types of custom picks. So in this episode, we begin talking on the first step on making the pick. And I think the first step is not the design, is not anything except what metal you're going to be using. In the first video, I said I'm going to be linking Christina Palmer research about the metal. And I also mentioned the Jimmy Longs and me. And I think a lot of people who are nerds and they want to get the technical part before making picks, they will contact her or reach out to the website and understand what's the difference. So the first thing today is going to be metal. What can work and what cannot work. This is a spring steel. Why it's called spring steel? Because it's like a spring and still hardened, and it still won't break. It's flexible and strong. And in my opinion, this is one of the best material to use to make picks. I make 90% of my picks out of spring steel. The only downside in spring steel that it will rust. So when you make a custom pick out of spring steel, it will be stronger. It won't break easy, but you should be taking care of it. Every once in a while, you put oil. If you start to see something take it away from water. If you start to, you have spots or something, you can polish it with a metal polish or a sandpaper just to keep it a very fine sandpaper, or a car polish, which is working good, just to keep it clean and shiny always. And when you finish it, you don't leave it in the air. Who else make using this kind of metal, the spring steel? One of the best and most expensive picks in the world, multi-pick. They use spring steel, but spring steel can be cheap or it can be expensive. Can be low quality or extremely good quality. So multi-pick, use it. This is why they have the best feedback. I'm not sure what do they do for the picks not to rust easy. Some people can give the spring steel a coat like this one. For example, this is my pick. This is spring steel. It will not rust. It will always keep the shine because I give it a coat. Nickel chrome coat. It will always be shiny and it will not rust. I don't always make the picks that are coated, except if the clients want it like this. Some people say, the coat will go and it will go off, and the pick will look ugly, and then they have to sand it and redo it. For me, the coat works for me excellent. I've been abusing this pick for years. I didn't even make a handle for it, and nothing happened to it. I do a double coat on the spring steel, so it stay, as you guys can see, perfect. If we're talking about spring steel, you will find that Killer Maro use spring steel, or using a type of steel which is not stainless steel. It's same like spring steel. What is the material you can use to make your picks? As I can say, you can use spring steel. You can use something like this, like a hacksaw blade, or you can just go online and buy a roll of spring steel. It's not expensive. It's very much available everywhere, no matter where you live, because it's widely used. You can purchase a roll and you can then cut the metal and you start forming your picks out of spring steel. What is the other options? You have something like this, which is good, but not the best. This I think is 240. I'm not sure. I'm gonna be writing in the description because I didn't do my homework before making this video. Then you have 301 stainless steel. You have two types and you have different specification of the 301. You have high yield, you have different strength points of the steel, so not all 3-1 will work for you. This is why I said you should check Christina Palmer. You can make picks out of titanium and stainless steel and spring steel. This is 301, but it's different than the 301 that you will buy or it's used in low lock tools. This one is more flexible. This one is not that flexible. This one will bend. You can bend them back, but this one will, if it's abused, it might break. But overall, this is more expensive because it's harder and it can give you better feedback. Okay, so you're gonna start making a pick at home. You're gonna use something like this, or 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 you're gonna use something like this. You can use wiper inserts, which is very commonly available. It comes in stainless, it comes in steel, and it's good for beginners. I made my first pick ever out of a wiper insert, and I still use it for many years, and it works amazing. And actually, I made a lot of picks when I started making picks out of wiper insert, like this, for example. As you can see inside, you can see the wiper insert going inside. And oops, and I made this as a half diamond. I didn't polish it or anything. I just made it and I used it. And this is an example of mixing wood and epoxy. This is one of the first picks that I was making. I made this one out of wiper insert. And they work great for years and years, and no problem is happening whatsoever. You can use this, which is very much available, but we are limited. What's the downfall? You are limited with the size of the insert itself. As you can see, for example, here, you can either make the pick a bit bigger, like this, but inside you only have this part, or you can make like this. It won't be flush, like as you can see with all the custom picks. It won't be flush. The metal inside is wider, then it goes inside like this to thinner. And scientifically proven, the metal will last you longer if it goes from a wide angle and it goes like a V, and it gives you the shape of the pick. But as I told you, I've been using those picks that I made at the beginning of when I started making picks, and they work perfect. I have no problem whatsoever. I never broke any pick of those. What is the second option you have? There are picks that you will buy. You buy a pick that is from one side like this without the holes, and it looks like this. It's called Make Your Picks or something like this. It's supposed, you buy it, it's supposed to be like this without the holes, like this. And you buy it from commercial companies and you start shaping the profiles that you want. You will buy it like this. It comes one piece like this. I don't have one. I never bought one, but it's available in Peterson, I think Southward and Sparrows and Andrew. Lowlac Tools. All those people, you can buy this pick that you can shape yourself, which doesn't limit you by the profiles. You can get a good piece of metal and you already have the handle and the size, but you can do the shape that you want, and you'll be limited with the shape of the metal itself. Yet you can change the design. If you get a piece of metal like this, okay, I'm gonna make it thinner from here, I'm gonna make a handle from here, and from here I'm gonna make this shorter, and I'm gonna make the design limited by this size that I have. Or the third option is you can buy something like this. This is from Vent, Germany, Lockmaster. You can buy it, already comes with the holes for you. And they also sell the pins, like those pins. You can buy the pins, so you can just make the scales in the same size. You can customize the scales. You'll find a lot of people made scales for this from wood, like red oak, from brass, from stainless. A lot of people did amazing job for those picks, the Lockmaster picks. I'm gonna be also putting a link for those in the description. Other option is you can buy, most of the people use those picks, and those are Low-Lock Tools, Valerian, and there are different types. You can buy this pick, you punch the holes in them. You can change the design somehow by changing the things in the metal, or use it as it is. You're gonna shape the wood and make the holes. I'll be showing you how I punch the holes and how, because I use a different technique. I'm not sure if everyone do it my way, or everyone have his own way, but I think my way makes it accurate and very easy. I've suffered a lot just to match the holes inside the wood with the metal and to get it perfect, and there is ways to play around it. So back to the options, you can buy picks like this without handles, and you can make handles for them, yet you'll be limited by the profiles that comes with it. But I think for beginners you should start this way, because to form the profile itself, it will take you time. Yet you're not losing a lot, because they sell all the best profiles that you will be needing. You'll find from a rake to a short hook to a medium hook to a long hook to a diamond, a full diamond, a half diamond, everything you will find it there. Except if you want to do something custom. For example, I want an extremely deep hook, extremely short hook, or like something like this. I created this design because I cannot find anything like this in the market, so I made it a custom. If you want to play around, but to reach this level, you must be either a really good picker and you understand what the profiles work, or how they work, or you are a good craftsman that you will try and test. I cannot say that I'm one of the best pickers or a really advanced picker or whatever, but at least I know what I want. I kept trying and testing. I thought, I need a notch here, I need this to be straight, I need this to be thin from here, I need to be big from here, I need this part to be long, for example, because even if I'm not picking this way, if I'm not picking this way, I could be picking this way, like this. By this top end can be reaching the pins like this, like this, for example, like this or like this. So it works both ways. For this to be big and long, that goes up, so you can have like a hook here and a hook here, like the monkey paw. So each and every one have his own designs. For example, this you won't find every day. This is the PKR lab I was showing in the last episode. It's a different design. And this is why custom picks, you can play around. Okay? So what is the other option? You either can buy it like this and you start working with it, or you can do as 90% of the custom picks are made. You will go buy a cut-offs of 301 stainless steel, which is one of the best materials to make custom picks. For me, this and spring steel. So I have a lot of those all over the place. I ordered a lot, and every time PKR Labs send me something, he sent me a bunch of those. Those are available in England. They ship overseas in Locklow Tools. This is a cutouts of his laser cutting process. This is what's the leftover of the sheets. He collect them and sell them because this is very expensive material. So he should not throw it. So he sell it to us custom pick makers to use it and start to make our own designs and to make our own shapes and cut the metal to make our own picks and see how they will work. So we covered the metal part, which is a bit boring, but it's important for you to know. I'll be talking about the wood. I don't want to make the video long. I know the metal part is a bit annoying, but for you as a beginner or who want to make a pick, I don't want to know all the details. So as I told you, you can just go grab as a starter one of those picks to see if you like the thing or not. Or you can, if you don't have money and you don't want to buy something, you can start with something like this. Or if you want to start to do something like a professional, nice custom pick, you will be using something like this. If you're not sure, I say don't start with this. You can start with this just to see how it's work. And I personally make my picks out of spring steel, except if someone told me, no, I need different types of steel and I need the 301. I want if something that is different than the custom picks that I make it out of those. I myself use the spring steel. I never broke a pick. I've been abusing these picks all out of spring steel and they work perfect. The only downside is they might rust, but as you can see, I made this pick long time ago and they still have the shine on them. One thing I have to tell you before I go, you cannot go use stainless steel 304. You cannot use 304 while making picks. And 304 is the material that is used in food things because they are the stainless steel that doesn't rust. Like, for example, the knives, the forks, all the things you'll find in the kitchen. You cannot use it to make picks because they will break. They are very fragile. They're not designed to be thin. They are designed to be thick and long and have a lot of strength when they are big and huge. But when they get thin like this, they will bend and they will never come back. Let me show you an example. This is made out of the wrong material. So as you can see, yes, I can bend it back, but after a certain point, when this part, the one that started the bending have on it, this point that became weak and started make the bending. Every time you try to pick it, even if I return it back and I shaped it, every time you try to use it, it will bend back from this point because it's made out of the wrong material. For example, if the spring steel bended and you bend it back, it won't do the same as you're using the wrong stainless steel. It will work better. You can bend it back. I never bended the 304, but I'm not sure if you bend it, you can bend it back. I think yes, but depending on how bad is it. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this long, boring metal episode, but I think you should guys know and understand everything before you start doing things. I've seen people on Facebook doing amazing work with knives and forks, and then the pick doesn't work. So what's the point? Yes, it is kind of artistic that you're doing something, that you're doing the craft and working, but when it comes to practicality, you cannot use it. So the next episode, we'll be talking about the design, the handle design, and the pick, the handle designs, drawing and pick design, and how you can turn the this into reality, and you can make picks. And we'll be covering in the next episode the material and the wood and how we can mix two wood together, or three types of wood together, or different material like brass in the wood. We'll be covering the designs and the scales and the wood, or the acrylic or epoxy in the next episode. See you guys around and stay safe. 90-degree line that I made. Oh my god, my square is not closed. You have to make sure to get accurate that this shouldn't be playing. So I'm gonna be going to the top part here, and I'm gonna go down. So now I know that this is the center of my pick, roughly.